everybody! Chester D. Myers here for a special supplemental video all about the Minnesota Zoo. And to help me, we have our wonderful boss. Hello. Hi, boss. Hi, Chester. So the reason why the wonderful boss is with me today is to go over our time at Minnesota Zoo back in 2017 and how it compared to what we saw within the past week. So I wanted to start this interview segment by first asking, what were you doing at the Minnesota Zoo in 2017? That's a great question. So I ended up there fresh out of college. At that point, I was just looking for any kind of work or an internship. So I ended up at Minnesota Zoo with an education internship. So what that was is we went around and we helped out with the summer camps that would happen during the summer season at the zoo. And on top of that, we also got to work with a set of animals that lived at a school that was connected with Minnesota Zoo. It was like a high school. It was a separate building, separate from the main public area of the zoo. And obviously during the year, they have the students learn to look after these animals and what basic animal training is. It's almost like starting to get a college course in biology and animal husbandry in high school, which is really cool now looking back on it. But obviously during the summertime, the students aren't there, so they left it to the job of the interns to take care of this small collection of animals. So that was one of the things I did there. What would you say the biggest thing is that you did? Like the thing that most resonates with you today? Ooh, I need a sip of water to muse on that. Arguably, the biggest thing that made the largest impact on me is going to be this one very specific summer camp that I helped run and eventually helped lead during one of the weeks. That was a part of the internship. Is first you sort of observed the camp, then you assisted with the camp, and then it got to the point where you took the camp over for a week. Whoa, that sounds intense. It was, but this one camp that I went through all those steps with was a Pokemon-themed camp. I remember they called it Zoo Monsters. I believe they actually might still have this camp going on to this day because it's a really cool camp. I mean, Pokemon, it's just one of those properties that there's always going to be something new. It never goes out of style. You're always going to get a new generation invested in it. And it's such a great way to connect a franchise that so many kids love and tie it into real animals, because a lot of Pokemon and the way that the game works is inspired by different animals and regions, and in terms of basically learning what it takes to actually train real animals as opposed to training Pokemon in the games. So that was sort of the main gist of that camp. And Pokemon camp, it's solidified. It was kind of my nail in the, ooh, I like this. I want to be doing this for the rest of my life. Running Pokemon camp? No. Having camps and programs that connect fun media things that everybody likes to actual wildlife and conservation information that can apply to the real world and everyday usage. Oh, did that make sense? I think so. I'm not sure. But that doesn't matter because we have some old things to pull up. What do you mean, old things? I dug through the archives of your old computer from college, and we have some things to show. Wait, what? So I've got all of the files from that summer of 2017 pulled up to check out and see if anything sparks your memory and what's been different since then. Okay. Oh, yeah, Morris. Okay, so this was a part of one of the animals that the interns were required to care for. In that school that I had mentioned. So Morris here, yeah, he was a leopard gecko. He was one of my favorites I remember taking care of. As a matter of fact, Morris is the reason why I fell in love with reptiles and leopard geckos in particular, and that is how we ended up adopting Toffee just a mere couple of months after I left the internship here and moved on to a more permanent job. The second I got that first paycheck, we went out and adopted Toffee. Aw, what a lovely story. So yeah, we wouldn't have Toffee if it weren't for Morris. Now this one's really quick, but I couldn't tell what animal it is. So these are Hawaiian monk seals. When you visited, you noticed that there were dolphins in sort of that large tank in the Discovery Bay. So those dolphins are only there temporary at the moment. Right, and that's what I found out. They're hanging out there while Brookfield Zoo is getting an upgrade to their dolphin enclosure. Yes, so I don't know how often this happens, but Minnesota Zoo has a partnership with Hawaii, so they will bring over Hawaiian monk seals, which is, and from what I remember very vaguely, it's an endangered species of seal. So Minnesota Zoo would take in seals that were unable to be re-released back into the wild. And the very short clip we have here is of a female monk seal, and her name was Nani. Aw, that's so cute, like Nani and Lilo and Stitch. Yep, exactly like Nani and Lilo and Stitch. Whoa, kangaroos? I didn't see this. Yeah, so this was unique specifically to that summer. There's an open area, and we did pass it. That's where the llamas were recently. Oh, so there's this big open area where Minnesota Zoo brings in different animals during the summer season. And in the summer of 2017, it was kangaroos and wallabies. So all of the camp shirts had like an Australia, like a map of Australia with, you know, a little kangaroo shape there. I couldn't find any of the older shirts, but I'm sure they'll come up here. I might have donated them or used them as cleaning rags or something all at this point. But yeah, it's specifically summer of 2017 for Minnesota Zoo. They had red kangaroos and wallabies. It was free roaming. People stay on the path. That's always a big thing. If you ever go to a free roaming area like this, especially with Australian animals that can kick you and crush your ribs, please make sure to stay on the path. That's your kangaroo PSA. Well, thank you for that trip down memory lane, boss. It was really cool to see what Minnesota Zoo was like back in 2017. And it's really cool to see some of the things that are still there today. Yeah, it's great. So what's next for you? Well, I think next is I'm going to go on my computer and scrap all of those old pictures of me. Yikes. But honestly, looking back on the time during that internship, there is a lot of things that happened in those 2.5 months that just ended up jump-starting so many different things for me personally and for the Short Puppet Arts channel as a whole. So it is a fascinating summer to look back on now and realize, oh my gosh, this was a catalyst for so many things to come and we didn't even know at the time. So I don't think I have anything left to say, and I doubt that the people I knew working at the zoo at the time are there anymore. But in general, just thank you, Minnesota Zoo. Definitely would not be where we are without that summer there. That was so sweet. Well, I guess with that, this is Chester D. Myers signing off. Thank you for your time, boss. I don't know why you're thanking me for my time. We both live together, and it just happened to be a day off for me. And I will see you guys around for more fun, exciting travel in the future. Goodbye! Can I take a sip out of the fancy cup? Yeah.